Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Oh, we don't need rant hour no more. That happened last night. Nobody had any rants, which is good. Everybody had a good night. Come on in. What's up, Robert? What's up, Johnny? Divine, Renee, I see you. Come on, as soon as you come in, start tapping, because tapping is clapping. What's up, Jose? Shell. Well, hi, Kat. Jason, Lynn Bell, Renee Walker, I see you. Come in, hi. Heidi, hello. Hello, Heidi. Angela, I see you. Thank you for being a subscriber. Good morning. What's up, Crystal? Ilcause, what's up? Thank you. Hey, Chelsea. Chelsea's in the house. Chelsea's in the house. Bridget, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Hugh. Crystal. Oh, we got some panel guests. Oh, I'm not sure about these two. Prob's not. Oh, Lord. Do I have a mod in here this morning? Dang, it's 7 a.m. What? It's too early, darling. Good morning, Pan. Good morning, good morning, good morning to my friends. I know, I've not even had my coffee yet. People are already running amok on TikTok. Tracy Davis using her stickers. Good morning, Paula. Oh, Lord, honey. If I didn't bring my tap stick, I'll have to open up a new one. My lips get so chapped. I don't know about you, but when it goes into the fall, lips chap. Bad. What's up, Lisa Brooke? That's okay, Crystal. That's okay. I know y'all got lives and things. I just appreciate you taking your time anytime to come in to see me. I think that's amazing. Just keep tapping, everybody. We have 2.7 thousand likes and already 97 souls in the room. Pam, was you there last night? Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I was for sure I was going to be the first to go. I was just like, there's no way I can compete with these awesome content creators. And I can't even believe I made it all the way to the end. I felt like the runner-up on American Idol, which to me is winning. To get that far is winning. Tracy is driving and listening. I know. I was in shock too. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, you still here after, people? This is crazy. Good morning, Shirt Staples. I see you, Texas girl. Thank you for being a subscriber. Good morning, good morning. Well, where do y'all tell me where you're coming in from? What are you doing? Where are you going? Are you working? Kyron Horman. I have not heard of that case yet. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Paula. Today's live goal is 10 potatoes and penne, and we already have one of them, and we only need 9 now to beat our live goal. So thank you for that. Courtney's in the house. Did I go live afterwards? Not immediately, but I did have a show last night. Good morning, True Crime Baddies in the house. But I did have a midnight show called Midnight Rant that I decided to do to see if anybody wanted to come up onto the panel and rant about their day before they go to bed. Nobody did. I was like, this is so great. Everybody was just had a great day and a great time, and nobody had any rants. By the way, I did not color my hair blue. I have too much blue shampoo in there, and it'll look like an icy blonde in a few days. So if you're looking at a blue tint, it's just from the shampoo. I wanted to point that out. Although it looks cool. I mean, I kind of look like the cool kids. What's up, Kristen? Keep on a-tapping, cause a-tapping is a-clapping. Selena, thank you for sending the bracelet. Thank you. Thank you, Connie Walker. It's getting crazy. Okay, well, let's look it up. I mean, you know, we are a free bird show here. Kyron Horman. Let's go over to the big YT.
Así que Rancho.
Okay, can we start, because we don't know about, I don't know about this. Who in here is not familiar with this Kyron Horman story? Who is not? Pam's not, Crystal's not, Heidi's not, Bobby's not. Okay, Abigail's not. Not yet. Probably about 30 days away from moving. Okay. Okay, so a lot of people, it looks like the majority don't know about this case, including me. So let's go look. Let me get geared up here. I'm going to push the mic away because every time I've learned you've got to put your headphones on first. And I don't want you guys to hear screeches. So hold on. Okay. This makeup is aggravating my eye. I put too much on and it's going down in my eye. All right. Oh, wow. This happened in 2010? So why is it what stuff is getting crazy about it now? I thought he looked familiar. I thought he looked like, you know. Yeah, what has happened like that's current with it? Can I show the pic? Yes. Let me Google. I do want to tell you guys about the story that Kristen brought to my attention. Jennifer, I want to screen cap this because I don't want to forget to do this. Jennifer Gledhill. We have to talk about that. Okay, Kyron Horman. I do. This is ringing a bell. I mean, it's been 15 years. But now that I see the picture, yeah. So that's a picture of him. Yeah. Hold on just a second. Let me see. Because somebody said it's getting crazy. The last update I see on that in the news was back in June. Good morning, Crazy Mom. I'll just read you the Wikipedia. Kyron Richard Horman, born September 9th, 2002, is an American boy who disappeared from Skyline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon on June the 4th, 2010, after attending a science fair. Local and state police, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, conducted an exhaustive search and launched a criminal investigation, but have not uncovered any significant information regarding the child's whereabouts. Horman's disappearance sparked a large criminal investigation in Oregon history, the largest. To this day, his whereabouts remain unknown. On June the 4th, 2010, Kyron was taken to Skyline Elementary School by his stepmother, Terry Horman, who stayed with him while he attended a science fair. Terry Horman stated that she left school at around 8:45 a.m. and that she last remembered seeing Kyron walking down the hall to his class. However, Kyron was never seen in his first class and instead was marked as absent for the day. Ooh. Terry's statements to the police indicate that after leaving the school at 8:45 a.m., she ran errands at two different Fred Meyer grocery stores until about 10:10 a.m. Between then and 11:39 a.m., she stated that she was driving her daughter around in town in an attempt to use the motion of the vehicle to soothe the toddler's earache. Terry said that she went to a local gym and exercised until about 12:40. By 1:21, she had arrived home and posted photos of Kyron at the science fair on the book face. At 3:30, Terry and her husband walked with their daughter to the bus stop to meet Kyron. The bus driver told them that the boy had not boarded the bus and to call the school to ask his whereabouts. Terry did so, only to be informed by the school secretary that, as far as everyone there knew, Kyron had not been at school since early that day, and he had accordingly been marked absent. Realizing that the boy was missing, they called 911. Sad case. It looks like they searched and searched. Terry looks like she failed 2 separate polygraph exams. So, one quick question. Does the school that he went to not have cameras? Because they're saying, well, he went missing after he got done with the science fair. Apparently she took him to school. He had a fair. And when they were done with that, apparently he was walking down the hall to his class. That was the last time she said she saw him. Did we have anybody identify him at the fair? No cameras. That's what I was thinking. 2010 was not the year for cameras. I mean, they wouldn't have been second nature like they pretty much are now. Hey, Space Cadet. I'm glad I caught you in here. No witnesses. All right. Well, that's an interesting case, and I really hope to help facilitate maybe doing a podcast on that. But right now, I wanted to bring you a photo of a young man that's missing. I have been asked to share his photo, and I will. This was given to me this morning, so I just wanted to bring it up. And anybody's welcome to please come up on panel. Excuse me. I invite you to come up on panel and talk about whatever's happening currently that you want to talk about. But this young man's name is Brandon Funderburg, and he's been missing since October the 19th, 2024. He was missing from Greenville, Tennessee. He's 5'10" and weighs 150 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. I know someone who's working with his mom, trying to find him. And so I just wanted to get his face out there, okay? $15. I know, true crime baddie. It's heartbreaking. I'm going to look more into him. And if his mom wants to come on the show, I may try to work on that. Brandon Funderburg. Just typing along here. What is up with all the missing children? Oh, man. Got me, you know. There's the picture. Greenville, Tennessee. Missing since October 19th, 2024. So it's so new. So there's that. Thank you. All right. Does anybody want to come up to the panel and talk about any true crime? Anything? I wanted to talk about one thing, though. And feel free to come up to the panel and ask questions or do what you want to. Hey, Bill, I don't know. There is a case that is going on right now. And her name is the lady that's been charged in the slaughter of her husband. Her name is Jennifer Gledhill. Thank you for sending them. Thank you for sending the Pelly potatoes. So I'm just going to pull up a little YouTube. I'm sorry, YT of this, and let's get familiar with this story because I'm going to follow this story because she's claiming DV again. She's claiming DV here, and she's got children, and apparently she unalived her husband in the name of an affair. Let me give you a brief description. What's up, Dora? Dora the Explorer's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Karen Swift. I have not. I'll have to look that one up, though. Welcome in, Rooster. I love your name. So, Dollop Daisy is in the house. Utah's moms, by the way. Oh, thank you for the little guitar. Thank you so much. Let's start here. Cottonwood Heights, Utah. The search continues for National Guardsman Matthew Johnson. He is still missing. So, his wife, Jennifer Gledhill, has been accused of his slaughter. According to former Utah County Prosecutor Lance Bastian, finding Johnson's body is crucial to building a case, especially to determine the case and the cause and manner of death. Bastian explains that without a body, it's challenging to prove specifics like how they died. Prosecutors would likely need to rely on circumstantial evidence if no body is found. Jennifer Gledhill, the wife, is now facing 9 felony charges related to her husband's death. Recently, and we'll get more into depth in this in a minute because this is about to get wild. Recently, her parents were also arrested, accusing her. They are accused of helping her, with the cleaning up of the old crime scene there. And her next court hearing is November 22nd, although she was in court last Friday, but it was only in regards to whether or not she can see her children, and the answer for right now is no. So, her parents, Thomas and Rosalie Gledhill, are also in custody. Authorities say they helped Jennifer clean the crime scene and dispose of evidence. Police found the couple cleaning Jennifer's home just days after the slaughter, with cell phone data showing Jennifer called her dad the day she allegedly buried her husband. Investigators also discovered a bloodstain under Jennifer's bed and a wall scrubbed with bleach. The mattress was replaced, and Jennifer's mother allegedly admitted that she bought it for her. Authorities are still testing evidence, and Johnson's body remains missing. They say that cell data shows she called her dad. She called her dad. She allegedly unalived her husband because he had found out about an affair. So the hearing on Friday was about her not being able to see her kids, so the judge upheld the order. What do you think about that, Kristen?
It would be circumstantial at best, since they don't have a body to go along with it or any DNA evidence. So to me, that's a really wild case. It's going to be real rough. Prosecution has to be the burden of the proof in regard to presenting a murder case and, schmurder case. And if they can't meet that that beyond reasonable doubt threshold, it's dead in the water.
What do you think about it, folks in the chat? Do you think it's going to be hard to do this without a body? We're having the same problem in the Mom to Bot case. She is still missing, and her husband remains in jail on an attempt to conceal a dead body. So there are charges there, but nothing compared to what they would be if they had a body by now. But he has to be out there somewhere. And listen. I don't know the specifics of his height and weight, but it seems to me that she would have to have help carrying him out and burying him. And I don't know where that came from. If she's claiming innocence, then how do they know that he's buried?
Okay, so question. How do we even know if he's buried? Did somebody somewhere say, oh, I heard this rumor that he's buried? Or, I mean, how are we giving any credence to this part of the story? Is there anything to physically back it up or anything to corroborate it? That's what I would love to know.
Yeah, me too. And is there a reason that they are calling her by her maiden name? I wonder about that, because all of the everything says Jennifer Gledhill instead of calling her Jennifer Johnson, and that's odd to me.
Unless she on purpose did not want to change over her name.
That's true. You don't have to change it. That's absolutely true. But in a normal case, you would, or you would think to, or you would keep both of them with a hyphen. It seems odd to me that they are calling her by her maiden name. Thank you, Gwen, for extending your subscription. Thank you. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate you so very much. If you guys want to subscribe, I will pin it here. Whoops, I clicked the wrong button. And my goal here is 240, and we have 230, you guys, which is crazy amazing. I am so taken back and amazed by that. But you get certain perks as a subscriber. You get sub-only lives, moments of my personal life that no one gets to see. Discord invitation where we kind of chat all day long and you get to submit case ideas. Stickers that you can use in here. Custom stickers that I uploaded for all to use there, all the subscribers, and 60% off code that you can use off my website at scfmerch.com, and the chance to be entered into giveaways and drawings that I have randomly in the middle of lives. I don't know if this person it wants to come up to the panel, so
okay, I'll wait.
I don't know if this is a click but everybody's welcome, so I'm going to say, come on up. Hi. Hello. Nope. That's usually how it goes there. Oh, look at y'all using your sticker. So those are some of the sticker, folks, that you get to use if you want to be a subscriber and a part of the SCF family.
Now, I know we touched on the Delphi murder case. I just wanted to share briefly breaking news that just came in. And that article is coming out. Okay, out of ABC News. Delphi murder suspects' alleged jail confessions revealed in court. Richard Allen is accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017. This came out today at 9:42 a.m. Prison staffers are revealing the alleged confessions made by Delphi, Indiana murder suspect Richard Allen while behind bars. Allen is accused of killing Libby German, 14, and Abby Williams, 13, on a hiking trail in rural Delphi on February 13, 2017. He pleaded not guilty to murder. John Gallipew, a former warden of the Westville Correctional Facility, where Allen was held for 13 months after his October 22nd arrest, took the stand on Tuesday. Gallipew told jurors that Allen had wrote a note requesting an interview with him on March 5th, 2023. He said Allen's note said, "I'm ready to officially confess the killing of Abby and Libby. I hope I get the opportunity to tell the families I'm sorry." Gallup said Allen admitted to throwing out a box cutter in the dumpster behind a CVS where he worked in Delphi. An expert has testified a box cutter may have been used to slash the girls' throats. Asked about Allen's mental state at Westville, Gallup said Allen was quiet for the first month and began acting erratic after he got mail from his attorneys. Gallup said Allen washed his face in the toilet, went to the bathroom in his cell, tore up mail, and ate paper. Allen's attorneys have argued he was treated poorly at Westville and was called a baby killer, which led to a decline in his mental health. Gallup testified that Allen was allowed to shower 3 times a week, was provided 3 sets of clothing, had access to tablets, and was allowed recreation time 5 days a week in an indoor room. Allen was on suicide watch and received a medical check daily, Gallup said. Another corrections officer, Brandon Fisher, testified that Allen confessed on April 29, 2023. According to Fisher, Allen said his plan was to grape Abby and Libby, but panicked and ended up killing them. Allen allegedly told Fisher that he killed the girls with a box cutter and threw it into a dumpster behind CBS. Westville Corrections Officer Michael Clemens took the stand, telling jurors he was assigned to record everything Allen said and did while on suicide watch. According to Clemens, Allen said, "I'm so glad no one gave up on me after I unalived Abby and Libby, and I, Richard Matthew Allen, unalived Abby and Libby by myself. No one helped me." Clemens said Allen would shout to the other inmates, "I'm not crazy. I'm only acting like I'm crazy." During cross-examination, Clemens testified that he never felt Allen's behavior was genuine. Defense attorneys Brad Rossi asked Clemens, "Can prison get to a man?" And the corrections officer admitted, yes, it can. The corrections officer, Michael Roberts, testified that Allen was coherent and talkative, but a little scared when he arrived at Westville. After a few months, Roberts said Allen's behavior changed and he started confessing. Roberts had a detailed log of the 4 confessions he said he had heard. On April 7, 2023, Roberts wrote that Allen said, "Dear Lord, forgive me for molesting Abby, Libby, Kevin, and Chris. I want to confess. I know a lot more. The identities of Kevin and Chris were not explained in the testimony." On April 23, 2023, Roberts wrote that Allen said, "I unalived Abby and Libby. My wife wasn't involved. I want to confess." On April 26, 2023, he wrote that Allen said, "Can I talk? Can you listen? I unalived Abby and Libby. How do I prove I'm insane?" On June 18, 2023, Roberts wrote that Allen said, "Why are you doing this? Do you know God? Do you know why I'm here? I unalived Abby and Libby." During cross-examination, Roberts admitted that Allen had smeared feces all over his cell and put feces on his face for 2 hours. Roberts also said Allen refused food for long periods of time and recalled one incident where Allen hit his head on the wall for so long that his face turned black and blue. After 13 months at Westville, Allen was transferred to Wabash Valley Correctional Facility Jason Bedwell, a corrections officer there, testified on February 4th, 2024. Allen cried and talked to himself, saying, "I'm sorry for what I did. Sorry for unaliving them." This is from Janelle Klein of ABC News.
Holy cow. The one thing I want to say about all of those confessions is the defendant, the defense is claiming that he was under mental duress for being in solitary confinement, and that he also, that they want admitted into evidence, confessed to killing his grandchildren and family, although he don't have grandchildren and everybody in his family is okay. So what they're wanting to do is compare the two and say, listen, he also, in the same breath, pretty much admitted to unaliving people that don't exist. And so we want all of that confession thrown out. Thank you, Sunshine Queen, for the potato. I appreciate that. What do you think about that? Do you think they're going to be, that the jury is going to believe that in comparison to all of the other stuff that he confessed to?
Considering he was shouting to the other inmates, "I'm not crazy, I'm just acting that way," I believe he'll be determined to stand fit for trial, and that his sanity indeed is not into question, and there'll be no insanity plea to get off on at all.
Mm-hmm. So was that the summary basically of yesterday? Is the confessions?
The confessions were actually that I just read came out this morning. The ones from yesterday were and I'm gonna bring this back up. It was the testimony where he was laughing, and the jury saw his initial interview with the police, and how you see one side of him, and then in another breath you see the other side of him. And it was very concerning because you could see a definite difference between the two, and that's what came out yesterday.
Okay, let's listen to this summary on the Big YT. This network, WTHR, does a really great job of summarizing the day, and it's only about 4 minutes long. So let's listen to what happened on day 10 of the trial.
Let's listen to what happened on day
10 of the trial.
Investigators first sat down for a formal interrogation of Richard Allen, and jurors today got to see actual video of that interview between Allen and state investigators. It started off with everyone being relaxed, with Richard Allen offering up information very freely, cooperating with investigators. But then, when the investigators told him they wanted to search his phone and they wanted to conduct a search warrant at his home, the tone of the interview changed. At that point, Allen said, "Your attitude toward me has definitely changed. This feels like you're interrogating me. You've known from the beginning I was out there. I told you that." Steve Mullen, an investigator for the state, said, "We're not mad at you. We're not upset with you. We're just trying to get to the truth." Richard Allen said, "I think we're done." He said, "It's not me. You're not going to convince me it's me. I had nothing to do with those murders." At that point, they allowed Richard Allen to go, but they did serve a search warrant on his home. And 2 weeks later, they sat down with him again, this time with much tougher questions. State Police Lieutenant Jerry Holman is the one who conducted this interview, and he presented evidence that came from the state crime lab indicating that a cartridge found at the crime scene had cycled through one of Richard Allen's guns. Richard Allen, over and over throughout the interview, said, "I had nothing to do with this. I am not going to admit to something I didn't do. I can't explain something I don't know about." At one point, Richard Allen's wife, Kathy, was allowed to come in the interview room. She was crying. They hugged. He vehemently explained to her that he had nothing to do with the murders. And when Kathy Allen then went to leave the room and Jerry Holman came back in, that's when things got incredibly heated. He said, now you're going to drag your wife and daughter through this because you're too blank bullheaded to get out ahead of this. Richard Allen responded, you're going to pay for what you've done to my wife. You want to blank with me, but you leave my wife out of this. Leave me out of this. At that point, Jerry Holman started screaming at Richard Allen, saying, I know that you are the killer. At one point then, Richard Allen said, if you're going to arrest me, arrest me. And Jerry Holman said, happy to. Very important testimony today. Actually, the words of Richard Allen that the jury got to hear for themselves coming up this afternoon. More words we expect from Richard Allen, this time in the form of alleged confessions that he made behind bars. The jury will be very interested in hearing that. We'll have that testimony coming up for you at 5. In Delphi, Bob Siegel, 13 News.
Bob, thanks so much.
So let's also listen to this debrief, because I don't, that can't be the whole day. And we don't have to listen to this whole thing. It's 30 minutes long. But basically, they showed the video of the interrogation, and just to recap, and I mean, he kept saying that he's not doing it. He didn't do it. And listen, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the lack of DNA evidence. I'm concerned that the only witnesses that they have for Bridge Guy, the description does not match Richard Allen. I'm concerned that they compared bullets, that one was fired and the other one wasn't fired and the other 4 were. So we all want a bad guy. We all want someone to pay for the things. But when you're dealing with beyond a reasonable doubt, I think Richard Allen is doing pretty good here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
It's not him.
It's not him. That's your opinion?
It's all circumstantial. But if you look at the history of the case with Brad Holder, do you know that name?
I don't.
Brad Holder is a leader of the Odinism. And Elvis, a guy named Elvis, is a part of that group. Elvis went and told his sister things that happened at the crime scene.
Really?
That he saw things, that nobody would know. The sister went to the police with the information. She took a lie detector test. And everything she said, she passed on the lie detector test. Then Elvis went to the police and asked the police if he spit on someone, would they have his DNA?
Why would he? Is he trying to imply that he spit on the girls?
Don't know. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But that is a true story that he did tell his sister. She was interviewed by the police, but then it was never pursued. Now, Richard Allen would not have been arrested had Keegan Kline not sang to the Canaries. Are you familiar with Keegan Kline? Keegan Kline has over 25 charges of CSAM, etc. He was charged out of Miami County, Indiana, which is Peru, Indiana. He took a plea deal. When he took that plea deal, they began searching the Wabash River. Then they searched Richard Allen's home, and then Richard Allen was arrested. Now, keep in mind, Keegan Kline is a huge component to this trial because he catfished the girls through Snapchat and other various platforms with an alias of Anthony Shots. Keegan Kline is probably 5'9", maybe 5'9" to 5'11", 350 pounds. Not an attractive male, if you will. But the Anthony Shots picture that he used was a boy that was a model.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Just quickly, the haunted side's in the house, and I just wanted to let you all know to follow the haunted side. Every time he comes by here, I want to acknowledge him for the great job that he does, so make sure you follow him, and I see you. So here's my question. Does Keegan Kline have red, bushy hair?
No.
Thank you, Miss Cheryl. Is he in his 20s or 30s?
20s, but he does not fit the description of bridge guy. Now here's the other kicker to the Anthony Shots account. It wasn't just Keegan Kline logging into this account having conversations. They believe his dad was too. If you look at his dad would fit more of the description of bridge guy.
This is wild. I'm trying to write all of these names down and keep up with this because I have not heard of any of this.
Yes, and you can verify everything that I'm telling you. And keep in mind, Keegan Kline's dad and Richard Allen, there's a link there because they were very close in proximity and believed to have been classmates. Because Richard Allen grew up in Miami County, in Mexico, in the Chile area, and Keegan Kline is from Peru. They're about 5-10 minutes from each other. And Delphi is only 30, maybe 40 at the most, away from Miami County.
So I'm seeing some of your comments, and please feel free to come up to the panel and ask questions. We have 33,000 likes and 144 souls in the room. Here is some of the question that I'm seeing in the comments. Do you think, or would they have found evidence on the phone, in the Snapchat or otherwise, of this catfishing? And do you think that it was a situation where they were supposed to meet somebody?
Yes, they were supposed to meet Anthony Shots that day. That is why they went to the trail. Yes. They did not have school that day. It was like, I don't know, parent-teacher conference or something. In Indiana, when those types of things happen, or they have build-in snow days. And if that's not a day that, they need to use, then the kids will be off school. Well, it was very rare because in the state of Indiana in February, it's usually very cold, snow on the ground, ice, what have you. But 17 was a little odd winter, and it was rather warm. I mean, it was hoodie weather.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect opportunity. They went to the trail to meet Anthony Shots, and then this happens.
Do you think they would have found the evidence of this meetup on their electronic devices?
That's how they found it.
Oh, they did find it on there.
Yes.
But why didn't they investigate it? What's the disconnection? Why did they drop the ball on that and focus on Richard Allen?
You have a great question, because they didn't pursue Holder. They didn't pursue Elvis. Keegan Klein is definitely, without a doubt, 1000% not bridge guy. There's no way.
Do you think bridge guy, because there's a disconnection in, have we all decided that bridge guy is involved in some way? By the way, Morgan from Where is Bradley Strassner's in the house. Everybody give her some love. We are still seeking justice for and looking for Bradley Strassner.
It's basically coming down to no DNA evidence. It's basically coming down to he said, she said. You know, you have one witness that says they witnessed him walking after. He was covered in mud. He was covered in blood, to the point he looked like, and this is her words, he unalived a pig. Now let me ask you this. Delphi, at best, is 3,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Small towns, everybody knows everybody. Number two, Richard Allen frequented, and there is a picture out there of him in a bar with the information about the schmurder behind him, like a reward flyer trying to find the person.
Mm-hmm.
That is the same bar that Anna worked at, which is Abby's mom. Everybody knew everybody in this town. So the lady that says she saw a bridge guy covered in mud, bloody, you would think, and she said she's lived there for many years, you would think that she'd be like, hey, that's Richard. Hey, Richard. But she never said, oh yeah, I seen Richard walking. He was covered in blood and mud and everything.
Yeah.
All these people that were on this trail have just said, oh, I seen this guy. I seen this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bull. Everybody knows everybody. But they've never said, I seen Richard Allen.
Right. That's the problem. And that's what I talked about yesterday, is the fact that they say, yes, we saw Bridge Guy, but the problem that they're having is proving that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. There's just so much lack of evidence in this case. I feel like that the confessions aren't going to be taken serious by the jurors based on his other behavior at the time. I feel like without DNA evidence and really the only thing that they have that defense or the prosecution thinks they have is that bullet, what they're calling the magic bullet. But I don't understand how bullets can match or can be found to come from the same gun, especially if they have not been fired. And how can you compare an unspent to a spent?
The only thing that happened with that gun or pew-pew, there was I believe, yes, there was a pew-pew involved. And what happened was, on a semi-automatic, you have to slide it back to put one in the chamber. A revolver, you do not. A revolver is the one where it flips to the side and you have to put the bullets in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Semi-automatic, you have to slide it back to put one in the chamber.
Right.
So probably what happened, whoever did this, put one in the chamber. He racked his pew-pew to scare the hell out of them, to make them do whatever he did, and he lost the bullet at the scene.
Hi, Roxanne.
Okay. There is
I think
one
it's all
person before that was
circumstantial.
arrested on that.
Hold on a minute. Let's see what Roxanne has to say. Good morning.
Morning. I was going to say they have arrested somebody previously before this too, and the charges was dropped. And
No.
that was based on what she was trying to say, the Snapchat.
Wow. This is all new information to me. Of course, I remember when it happened, but I haven't kept up with it over the years. I'm just feeling like that they are not going to win the jurors over in this case. If I was a juror, I would just be saying, and well, Wild About Dreams saying Richard Allen is 5'4" and they think Bridge Guy is 5'8". Now I do know that the defense had an opportunity to hire someone to find out how tall Bridge Guy is approximately, and that it was going to cost them $10,000. But I don't know if that ever happened. It sounded like it never happened. And why wouldn't you do that?
We're at $4 million now for this trial.
What's another 10?
Right.
10,000, you know?
And nobody else has been arrested in this case but Allen. I know that to be 100% fact. The other thing is, if you look at Brad Holder, Steph, when you get offline, go look at Brad Holder. Visually look at him. There's a picture out there of him in a flat bill hat. I think the video is still out there too. Look at him. Look at Keegan Klein's dad. Look at Richard Allen. Go look at Bridge Guy. Go look at the sketches. And then come to a conclusion. If you can say without a doubt, 100%, it's Richard Allen. My opinion, you can't.
I'm pulling up this picture. Is that the one you're saying in the hat?
Yes, but when you see his face and him talking, now
let me try to find a video and let's listen to him talking.
And you really want me to send you down a rabbit hole?
Of course.
Ron Logan, the property owner, he had a roommate. That roommate had been locked up with Brad Holder and Derek German, Libby's dad.
Interesting. Everybody really is. I mean, it's so small, such a small town. Everybody really is connected. Delphi voice comparisons: Richard Allen, Brad Holder, Ron Logan, and Patrick Westfall. Who is Patrick Westfall?
Patrick Westfall is one of the
Juvederm fillers.
members of the Odinist. But keep in mind, Libby had relations. I wouldn't say relations, kiddo crush, boyfriend type thing. I mean, my goodness, she was only 14 years old with Brad Holder's son. But I think it was more of a puppy love type thing, you know, like maybe chit chatting at school or, you know, text message, you know, they're 14.
No.
But that has been made known that there is a connection with Brad Holder's son and Libby. Now, I have a very big question, and this was talked about last night. There has been male fluid, if you will, found in the area of the girls. I'm trying to be very PG-13 here. But there's no DNA to that. Now, somebody said, well, if they had a vasectomy. Well, even if you had a vasectomy, you would still have DNA in that
Yeah, I know what you mean. Right.
Why is this not being tested? And if ISP doesn't have the capability of doing that, why wasn't it sent to like the FBI lab, what have you? The FBI was involved in this case in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And beautiful, I totally understand what you're saying, but I don't buy it because allegedly a drop of blood can be tested for DNA. So why can't this be tested? And if that happened, whoever did this needs those additional charges for an SA crime.
Amy says she doesn't like anything about this case, and I have to agree with you. Beautiful says it didn't have enough epitels. It didn't have enough. Is that the only source that they found? There was no other fingerprints, or that's the thing is the lack of what they found on the girls. Go ahead.
There's DNA allegedly under the girls' fingernails as well. I get, what some in the chat are saying, there's not enough, to test or do this. But at this point, and I cannot even believe I brought myself to say this, I'm not trusting this investigation.
I'm not either. I have to say there was mistakes. There was questions about how the bullet was removed from the scene. There's no video of the bullet being removed from the scene. There's just so many different, everybody else is feeling the same. You can see in the comments. I am not feeling this conviction right now.
And I am very upset knowing either we're going to get a conviction of the right guy or we're going to get a conviction of the wrong guy. And there could still be a monster lurking among us because of the lack of the investigation. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is it's okay to say, anybody in this world, this is out of my wheelhouse, it's out of my experience, let's send this on to somebody bigger to get this tested. Let's ask for some help in this investigation so we're rock solid to bring justice to these girls.
Right. Ooh, Morgan from Where is Bradley Schaefer says, Steph, I think you're going to end up being known for airing incompetent departments of the law. You know it. And that's something that I want to be known for. I think corruption exists in every county in every state. There is some level, and it's up to us to, expose that if it exists, and to investigate the ones who use their power to hide the truth.
I want my tax dollars. We're at $4 million on this trial. I want my tax dollars to bring justice to these girls.
Yep.
You hear so many people, my tax dollars are being wasted. Not in this case. Spend every damn dime and find out what happened.
We have 42,000 likes, folks. Let's see if we can get to 60,000 likes. Just kind of tap along as you listen. We have 187 souls in the room. Today's live goal is 10 potatoes en pâté. I will pin that in case you would like to throw a couple, one or two, and then that would reach our goal for the live. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that. Just one more and we'll reach our goal, and I will be forever, forever grateful. Beautiful Disaster says the 60 different confessions. Thank you, Paula's Pauls. The 60 different confessions is suspicious to me. It reminds me of West Memphis. I'm not familiar with that one. The confessions, boggle my mind. Maybe he was experiencing a psychotic episode, but why would you
West
confess?
Memphis 3?
I'm sorry.
I was going to ask her or that particular individual, if she was or they were referring to West Memphis 3, and then I could. Oh, okay. I'll let Steph speak first, and then I'll get into the gist of that.
Okay, I was just talking about this case in general. Hey, Miss Diane, I don't know if I missed you when you come in, so good morning to you. Yeah, this is wild. Can we just listen to this voice comparison? Because I'm beside myself waiting to hear Brad Holder's voice now at this point. Can we just...
Can I answer a question real quick for somebody in the chat? Jamie says he was in the hole in prison. I can explain that a little bit because I have a family member that works for IDOC. The reason he was in segregation in IDOC in the correctional facility is because he could not be put in general population for his safety. Do you realize what would have happened to him had he been put in general population? The other reason he was moved to a prison and not a county jail, county jails in the state of Indiana are very small. A lot of them are very, very small. So they don't have the extra rooms or solitary confinement to put him in. So he would have ended up in Gen Pop inside the jail, and the same thing would have happened to him there. They truly moved him to the correctional facility for his safekeeping. The problem that people don't understand is all of those cells are the same size. All of the food is made the same way. Yes, he's being held. He had a bond. He could have bonded out, but he is going to receive the same treatment in jail or prison as anybody else is going to receive. They're not going to serve him filet mignon and give him all of the perks of life, if you will, while he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's very different that he was moved from a jail to a prison, but there was a reason for it because it's so high profile. They are different, you're right, but they're going to treat him as an inmate just as anybody else. He did not bond out. If he doesn't bond out, he's going to sit there. Any of us in this live right now could be arrested for, I'm not saying you, I'm using it as an example.
Right.
If we don't bond out, we're going to be treated just like any other inmate.
Right. Beautiful Disaster says Richard was also having issues with correctional officers mistreating him.
I do believe that. There are dirty DOC officers. I do believe that.
I believe that too.
Not all of them are, but I do believe that because they are short-staffed. And DOC in Indiana, if you're breathing, you don't have a extensive criminal background, you don't have racial tattoos, gang-related tattoos, what have you, they'll give you a job.
Mm-hmm. We just hit 50,000 likes. Thank you, beautiful, for pointing out that. Just hit 50,000 likes. Thank you, guys. Keep tapping because tapping is clapping. That's how they get folks in here, and your participation on the panel, just coming up and giving your opinion or two really, really helps to get folks in here too. So all of that love and support, I really appreciate you. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, let's get to listening to this because I'm dying to hear this. Okay, let's listen.
I'm Vinnie Politan. The subject of my investigation is the Delphi murders.
A horrific crime in a small town involving two young girls who had their throats slashed. Prosecutors say it was a local CBS worker who did it, but the defense says it was.
To do a little old voice comparison video for you. Now, recently on
Sorry,
Show
I had
After
clicked on the
Dark,
wrong one,
I
but we're
compared
right
the
now.
voices of Bridge Guy, so we're in the Delphi case, right? Bridge Guy with Richard Allen, and then Bridge Guy with Brad Holder. Personally, I don't think Brad Holder sounds very much like Bridge Guy, but I've got another two voice comparisons to add to this. So we're going to look at Ron Logan's voice, because some people still think Ron Logan is a suspect. He's deceased now, but some people still think he's a suspect. And also Patrick Westfall. Okay. We're going to do Richard, Brad, Ron, Patrick. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of just run them a few times, like right after each other, so that you can get a comparison of all the four voices, if that makes sense. So let me know in the comments which you think sounds most like Bridge Guy. We've got to remember, we don't know for sure that Bridge Guy actually said "guys down the hill." We assume that it's Bridge Guy's voice, but we don't know. There might be somebody else there. I'm just saying Bridge Guy for the ease, I guess, but it could be a Bridge Guy rather than the Bridge Guy. So the voice comparison is with the audio that Libby took on her phone very bravely shortly before her and Abby were abducted and murdered. All right, let me know in the comments what you think of this voice comparison video. Which one is the closest to the audio from Libby's phone? Enjoy.
There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up.
The first voice that they played is, let me go back and make sure, because this just goes right into it. This first voice that they play is Richard Allen.
Let me know in the comments what you think of this voice comparison video. Which one is the closest to the audio from Libby's phone? Enjoy.
There's the word show coming up. 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 There's the word show coming up.
It's
the word show coming up.
Not the same.
There's the word show coming up. There's the word show coming up.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right?
It's Brad Holder.
Does that trigger you?
Hold the phone. Because this second voice that they went right into is Brad Holder's. And I just got the goosies. Let's go back. Let's start over with Brad Holder's. Brad Holder's voice.
Hey, Steph, I'm gonna hop down. I got a meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Be back later.
Okay. This is Brad Holder's. It looks like he has a TikTok account.
Because I'm wearing this hat, right? How about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
That's freaking him. Am I losing my ever-loving mind right here?
You think I'm the murderer because
What?
I'm wearing this hat, right? How about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
Steph, I told you.
That is Brad Holder's voice.
Yeah. And then look at Brad Holder. Look at the sketches.
Yes, he's even got the same kind of hat on in this video voice comparison as Bridge Guy has on his head. Hold on, beautiful disasters wanting to come up. Holy camole. Hi.
Yeah, it's pretty distinct when you hear it because the accents are different.
It's not Richard Allen. I'm telling you, it's not Richard Allen.
Yeah, they rushed this case, and it because there was so much public outrage with the German family. They went on several different podcasts, and reached out to a lot of creators on YouTube to get the police to do something because they dropped the ball.
I'm speechless.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right? Well, how about this hat? Does this hat trigger you?
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
It's not Ron Logan.
And I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
Not Ron Logan.
I didn't get home till approximately 6:30 in the evening, and then the neighbor stopped to ask for permission.
There ain't nothing wrong with Osseter. All Europeans
Ron
started
Logan's
off
too
this way.
tall.
So this voice that we're playing now is Patrick Westphal.
Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity until it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe. There ain't nothing wrong with Osseter. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity until it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
No, it's not Patrick.
Osseter. All Europeans started off this way. Most of all of them. They didn't convert to Christianity until it slaughtered its way out of the Middle East into Europe.
Yeah, but that statement he made is pretty suspicious to me.
You think I'm the murderer because I'm wearing this hat, right?
Can you explain, if you wouldn't mind, to the new folks in here, and just as a reminder to me, let me go back to my notes here. Brad Holder's son dated Libby like just an innocent thing, but what is Brad Holder's other connections to this case?
Brad Holder is a part of the Odinism theory. He's a member of it.
Yeah, I was about to say that Odinism. Now, they had stated the defense that the way that the sticks were laid is an indication that it came from this cult.
Correct.
We haven't.
There was also
we can't see.
rune. There was also a rune in blood on the tree.
No, they determined that was a handprint of one of the girls.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
And keep in mind, to get where the girls were from the bridge, they went that way. Okay, they went down the hill. The other thing to keep in mind about this area, if someone in the, live here went to Delphi and tried to get where the girls were, you're going to get lost.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very dense area. So somebody that did it had to know the lay of the land. They are also under the assumption the girls were taken down the hill and at some point removed from the scene and then brought back. Because during the search, that area was searched, but they weren't there. They didn't find them till the next morning.
Right, and Libby's clothing was found in the river or creek area on the different side of where they were found.
And the other way to get to the location where they were found is to go in the backside of the old guy, help me out. Logan is to go through his property to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brad Holder had that connection. Either one, he knew Logan, or two, he had the connection because of the roommate. And so they brought him in back that way versus going back down the hill with two unalive bodies, so to speak. And I hate to put it that way.
Right. Let me show you something. I think. Let me pull up this photo.
And if my voice seems to appear overbearing, it's not. I promise. My heart's in a good place. I'm just very passionate to find this monster that hurt these two girls.
Yeah, I think we all are too.
So here is a depiction of how the sticks were laid. I don't have a great photo, but I do have this one. Do you see above Abby's head the 3 sticks? That even if they said the other picture, I mean, they were laying the sticks on the girls to hide them. What is the two? You guys see that right there? What is that? Now, I don't see any other, but I'm just now looking this up. I haven't looked anything up about this Odinism stuff.
Now, I'm going to say this. If it had anything to do with the Odinism, which they have said, one of the reasons they're trying to use the Odinism theory. Keep in mind, Odinism is more of like a white supremacy group, if you will. Think of like, I don't even know if I can say this, swastikas, different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They are saying that one of the reasons that this could have happened with Odinism is someone in the families began dating somebody outside of their race. I'm sorry, but anybody can date outside of their race. That is none of my business or anybody else's business. That's just how I feel. That's not reason enough. There's no reason, but that's not reason enough to do what they did to these two little girls. Now I'm going to send you down another rabbit hole. If Odinism truly happened in this crime, that opens up a whole nother can of worms because 3 children of color were unalived in a house fire shortly before this crime happened in Flora, Indiana.
Thank you, Lindsarella.
So if Odinism is truly part of this case, then that opens up a can of worms for the unsolved Flora schmurders. Somebody's covering something up.
Look at this, though. There is a drawn out on a piece of paper by investigators what they saw. Over by the girls is a pool of blood. And you see that as depicted on the other photo that I showed with the red spots. Why were sticks laid over the pool of blood in such a way? Why? You see this? The lines are depicting sticks.
Yes. And that I can't answer. And, I would think if I saw sticks on a body, I instantly would think somebody was trying to just hide it. Okay? But the way they were laid goes back to the Odinism. The other thing is, for
it's
the people
right here. It's right there. You see?
Yeah.
The pool of blood and the sticks over that. That's what is mind blowing to me, is that sticks would be laid in such a way over these things that you normally would not. Whether you done this in the heat of the moment or this was completely planned out, normally people don't line up sticks over a pool of blood. Very odd.
Okay, and then that leads me to the next rabbit hole. Those sticks were there. They found the girls, but those sticks were never taken into evidence at the time the girls were found for DNA evidence.
That's
Those
right.
were not taken until 3 weeks later.
That's right. They had to go back and get them. And the reason what helped them identify what sticks to go get is they took crime scene photos with them.
I'm telling you, this investigation was botched.
Yeah, and that is completely against forensic protocol to leave a crime scene like that. It's against protocol.
Well, it is time for me to depart for today's show. I want to thank my awesome panel. The fact that you guys take your time out to come up here still amazes me every time and every day. So thank you for that. The Delphi trial is now in day 11, and they're saying that it could go another few weeks or less, November 15th or less.
6 weeks. They have the jury on the hook for 6 weeks sequestered. Can we talk about that real quick?
Sure.
Because I think that we need to understand, what this jury is going through. The jury was chosen. They were taken to Lafayette, Indiana. Again, Delphi is so small, they do not have hotels. So they were taken to Lafayette, Indiana. They were sequestered. Do people in this panel understand? They do not have a cell phone. They're not allowed to have their cell phones. Do you know when this jury gets to talk to their family? On a Sunday for a very short time. So please understand and have some grace with them with these photos and things that they are seeing. They can't leave this trial, go back to their hotel room, pick up the phone and, call their significant other or a friend and just cry and get out their emotions of, what they're seeing. They have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
And I want my tax dollars to offer them some sort of counseling and things for everything they're going through.
I brought up in yesterday's show the fact that these are a jury of your peers. So peers is normal people like me and you, and they're having to look at these gruesome crime scene photos that they can never unsee. They need time, and I, in my opinion, would need therapy to process that, because it's not like someone who's used to being in true crime or in police work or medical work. These are people that would not have ever thought that they would have to look at these type of photos, and that can be mentally challenging.
And it was, there is a report, and Steph, you may have seen that report, that when the photos came about, 2 of the female jurors became very distraught. There was a male juror that became so distraught, he put both of his hands on his head and put his head in his lap. So please have some grace with the jury and think about them in your, thoughts and prayers.
And I know that they want to find the truth too, and they want to find somebody to be responsible. But, and I do too, and you guys know what advocate I am, and y'all are. What's up, Jackie? I see you in this room, beautiful angel. And we all want that somebody to pay justice, but we want the right person. Let's remember, we want the right person. It's up to you and I. Well, it's up to the jury, but it's up to us to analyze what we're seeing come out as evidence here. And I'm telling you, I'm not feeling it. The state, I don't think they are doing so good right now.
Well, and I got to be perfectly honest with you before you go. All the research that I have done, and honestly, I have followed this case since the minute those girls went missing. Mm-hmm. In the live, I'm not going to share why or exactly where I'm located. I could share that with you privately, and then you would understand a little bit more. But Richard Allen is not smart enough to pull this crime off and leave no DNA behind. I promise you that.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that there's no DNA anywhere. They were drugged 20 feet one way, then drugged 20 feet in a different direction. And all along the 20 feet, there's no DNA of who may have done this. And you have to really have studied how to not do that. Like somebody randomly walking down, whether, first of all, I've always wondered until today, now I really have this really strong theory here, how in the world, like, would Richard Allen would have been got dressed and put a pew-pew in his pocket and said, well, I'm going to go to the park today. Hopefully I'll run into 2 young girls, right? What are the odds of that?
Well, but then you got to step back on that, Steph. And when you said you were getting off the live, I have to be honest with you. I seen wheels spinning in your head. Yeah. Like, I got to get off this live. I got to go check all this stuff out. Here's the thing with that. When you mention, is Richard Allen going to, go to the trail and, I'm just going to meet these 2 girls today. Yeah. You want to know why? Mm-hmm. He may not have been the schmurder and did this, but go do the research because he was meant to be there that day because he was in cahoots with Keegan Kline under the Anthony Schatz profile. And after he left the trail, at some point in the day, he went to Miami County. Keep that in mind, which is where Keegan Kline and his dad is.
Something went wrong in this investigation. They only looked at 1/4 of the pie here.
It's bad.
Just think about it, folks. If he is found not guilty, well, even if he is found guilty, we may or may not have, like, my panel guest said, somebody out there, live out there, just running around who could possibly do this again. Now, it's been 7 years. Have we heard of any other crimes? It don't even have to be in that area of something similar to this.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm going now.
But keep in mind, there was a baby girl at the age of 14 years old that had her whole life ahead of her. And it was determined in the investigation that she lived 4 to 10 minutes after this happened. And her tears were mixed in the blood. Mm-hmm. This is why it's so important that this investigation should have been handled differently, because there's a baby girl that lived 4 to 10 minutes with these injuries and her tears. And if that isn't enough to want justice for the right person, I can't help you. I don't know what is.
Yes. We had talked about that yesterday, I believe, or the day before, about the mixture, the moisture that they found, which means that it mixed with her tears. And Abby did not have any moisture mixed in with hers, and they feel like that's because she was either bound or already subdued or already unconscious. But she also lived 5 to 10 minutes is what they're saying afterwards. So these babies literally laid there and looked up to the sky, not being able to move or do anything. And the last face that they saw is the person who took their lives. And they deserve justice. They deserve a new investigation. If listen, I don't know what will happen if Richard Allen is found guilty. It looks like maybe we might have to get the Innocence Project involved here. So, because I don't feel like he's the one that done it.
The other thing to consider too, Becky Patty, Abby's grandma, raised her from a very small age. Through this, she was diagnosed with cancer. Mm-hmm. She made the determination that she was going to fight that battle because she was going to see this through for Abby and Libby, and she did. And now she has to sit in that courtroom and see what happened to her granddaughter. My heart is with her.
Mm. Me too. I couldn't imagine losing a child, much less losing a child, grandchild, in this sort of manner. It's the most cruel way.
But yeah, look into the information that I gave you. It will definitely bring up some questions. Bring up some questions for you. I can't say that you'll agree with me. Everybody, has their own opinion. But look into that information and then see what you think.
I will. In fact, I'll be doing my own video here with the voice comparison. A copy of this live, by the way, will be on the Big YT in case you missed it. You can go back and watch from the beginning. But this is interesting to me. It's just that I should have refreshed myself on all aspects of this case, but it's just been crazy the last few weeks for me. But I'm going to go back and revisit that and now jump down new rabbit holes.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for. I appreciate this wealth of information that you have provided. It's insane. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I wish it was different circumstances and different information for sure.
Deanna wants me to wait so we can hit that 68,000. 68,000 likes. I know you guys can do it. She's wanting us to make it. We made it. Yay.
All right. I have to step down.
Okay. Thank you for everything. Please come up to my panel every time because you're amazing.
Thanks for having me. If I have any more information, I will definitely share it with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Manny, if you want to send me a message, please do. We did reach 68,000. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jackie, for all the little heart boats. I really appreciate that. Oh man, you guys are making me so thankful that I have you to give me this additional information. My brain is only so big, and it's hard for me to keep up with information from so many different cases and ways that I'm pulled in during the day. So I depend on you guys to help make this happen and help get the word out there. If you know any information on cases that could help us to, analyze what's going on here. I love each and every one of you very much. Please know you're making my dreams come true right before my eyes. We reached today's live goal thanks to Jackie and others who have thrown some hearts. So thank you for that. Remember that you can find me on any social media platform. Thank you, Gwen. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo. I am on YouTube. I am on the X, Bookface, Instagram, and Scoops with a Z. We hit 70,000 likes. Look at you guys. You're so amazing. Thank you for that. Oh, oh, where's Bradley Strassner? Let me bring this up. Morgan is in here. Today is the 5-year anniversary of the disappearance of Bradley Strassner, and we are on a mission to find him and bring him home. Either way, now. Morgan, I've got a phone number for you that I want to give you, so I'll be texting you that when I get off live, of someone who has already agreed to be a guest on my show. I don't know when, but I want to talk to him first. His name is Steve, and he is the expert about the river rescues. And so everyone, if you could throw some orange hearts in the chat for Miss Morgan to let her know that we are thinking about her and thinking about Bradley, and especially thinking about that sweet little boy who would love a place to go to speak to his father, to tell his father goodbye, to whatever he is facing in his adult life. If we can find Bradley and bring him home, this little boy will never, ever, ever, ever forget that. And think about what an impact you can make on his life. So if you know anything about the Bradley Strassner case in Leesville, Louisiana, that happened on October the 30th, 2019, please call your local police department and let them know immediately. Bradley Strassner, Dina. If you'll go to my big YT, I have 2 videos. Both of the interviews that I've done with Morgan is up on there, so you can get caught up. And I also have a few videos that I've posted on my page as well. It is up to us. Somebody out there knows something. He didn't just disappear off the face of the earth or get picked up by an eagle and took up to the eagle's nest. He is somewhere on this earth. And as long as he is, it is up to the people who walk the earth to find him. I love you. I love each and every one of you. And I'll see you again in the morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you have a great day.